A Heart's Homecoming. In the gentle embrace of Willow Creek, a small town nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, Emily Carter found solace in the simple beauty of everyday life. At 34, Emily carried both the scars of past disappointments and the brilliant hope of renewal. Each morning, as the soft light of dawn filtered through the maple trees lining Main Street, she felt as if the day were a blank page, ready to be filled with new memories, love, and forgiveness. Emily's journey had begun on a cool autumn morning when she first arrived in Willow Creek to start over. With her modest suitcase and a heart heavy with unspoken sorrows, she had stepped off the bus into a town where everyone knew each other's names and secrets were shared over cups of steaming coffee. It was here that she discovered a community that embraced vulnerability and healing. Her modest home on Elm Street was a charming, weathered bungalow that echoed the bygone era of simpler times. Each creaking floorboard and sunlit window told a story of endurance and hope. In that sanctuary, Emily began to reassemble the fragments of her identity. The friendly neighbors she encountered soon became the pillars of a newfound family: James Anderson, the gentle and wise owner of the local bookshop; Sarah Bennett, whose infectious laughter and unyielding optimism brightened even the darkest days; Michael Dawson, a soft-spoken handyman with a knack for making everyone feel at home; and Elizabeth Kingston, an elderly woman whose deep love for the town and its residents was evident in her every word. On one particularly crisp morning in early October, Emily found herself drawn to the little bookshop on Main Street. The bell above the door tinkled softly as she entered, the aroma of old paper and fresh ink overwhelming her senses. James Anderson greeted her with a warm smile. "Welcome to Anderson's Books, Emily," he said, as though he had been expecting her all along. His kind eyes and gentle demeanor wrapped around her like a soft blanket. "Every book in here has a story, just as every person in Willow Creek does." Over the next weeks, Emily spent countless mornings at the bookshop, wandering among neatly arranged shelves that whispered secrets of long-forgotten times and dreams rekindled. Here, she would lose herself in stories of love and tragedy, solace and rebirth. James often recommended books that seemed to mirror her inner journey, and as they discussed the intricacies of each tale, a friendship blossomed between them. Their conversations danced between philosophy and everyday observations, creating a tapestry of trust and mutual understanding. One rainy afternoon, as droplets raced down the window panes, Sarah Bennett arrived at Emily's doorstep with a basket brimming with freshly baked muffins and a heart full of encouragement. "Emily, sometimes you must let go of the past to embrace the beauty ahead," Sarah said, her voice a mixture of wisdom and mirth. The scent of warm cinnamon and laughter filled the room as they talked about dreams, regrets, and the possibility of second chances. Sarah's exuberance was contagious, and slowly, Emily began to see that life, much like the sunrise over Willow Creek, held the promise of a fresh beginning each day. Michael Dawson became another unexpected guide on her journey. With his calloused hands and a quiet soul, Michael fixed not only broken fences and leaky faucets but also the broken pieces of her heart. One golden afternoon, as they painted the fence of her home together, Michael shared stories of his own childhood in Willow Creek, tales of mischief, resilience, and steadfast love for a town that always found room for hope. "Sometimes," he said softly, pausing to clean his brush, "we need a little bit of time to see that even the most faded paint can be restored to color with a little care." His simple philosophy resonated with Emily, easing the tension she had carried for years. Over time, the town revealed its many wonders. Evenings were spent in the town square where neighbors gathered on cozy benches and shared their day's joys and hardships. Elizabeth Kingston, a venerable lady with eyes that sparkled with memories and wisdom, often sat by the old fountain reciting poetry and tales of Willow Creek's storied past. "This town," Elizabeth would say, "has a magic of its own, a magic rooted in the love and friendliness of its people." Emily listened intently to Elizabeth's stories, the cadence of her voice evoking images of lost eras and a future where every soul found its rightful place. Amid the tapestry of daily life, it was the quiet moments of reflection that transformed Emily the most. Long walks along the meandering creek, where the water danced playfully over worn stones, allowed her to reconcile with memories of loss and betrayal. In the solitude of those moments, she forgave herself for past mistakes and decided to embrace the uncertainties of the future. Willow Creek, with all its tender imperfections and vibrant community spirit, had become her sanctuary, a place where love, friendship, and personal growth converged. As the seasons drifted by like pages in a well-loved book, new relationships blossomed in the gentle warmth of Willow Creek. An unexpected letter arrived one winter's eve from an old friend whose words were filled with regret and longing for a rekindled past. It was a turning point for Emily, a moment when she realized that love's true strength lay in forgiveness and the courage to open one's heart even after it had been shattered. In sharing her own story with that friend, she found liberation and a new sense of trust in the unpredictable dance of relationships. One chilly evening, while the snowfall built quiet fortresses on the streets, Emily organized a gathering at her home. The warm light of the fireplace and the scent of spiced cider set the stage for heartfelt confessions and laughter that echoed into the night. James arrived with a collection of his favorite poems and rustic tales from distant lands, and Sarah brought her enchanting energy in the form of impromptu musical numbers that filled the room. Michael had repaired the old piano just in time for the evening's serenade, and Elizabeth, with her timeless wisdom, presided over the celebration like a benevolent matriarch. Conversation flowed effortlessly that night. "I used to believe that I was broken beyond repair," Emily admitted, wrapping her hands around a warm mug as she sat among those whose presence had gradually healed her wounds. "But Willow Creek has taught me that even fractured souls can find strength in the gentle care of friendship and love." Her words were met with nods of understanding and smiles that spoke of shared experiences and collective growth. In the days that followed, Emily's life began to mirror the transformative spirit of a phoenix rising. She immersed herself in community projects, renovating the old library, nurturing a community garden, and volunteering at the local shelter, each act a testament to her newfound resolve to give back to the town that had embraced her unconditionally. In working side by side with her friends and neighbors, Emily discovered that healing was not a solitary endeavor. Each act of kindness, every shared smile, and every sincere conversation built a bridge between her former self and the bright future she envisioned. The community of Willow Creek was not without its own trials. When a severe storm threatened to ravage the town one summer, it was the combined effort of every resident that ensured their beloved community emerged stronger and more resilient. Emily, James, Sarah, Michael, and Elizabeth, along with countless others, worked together to mend broken fences, clear debris, and restore faith in their shared future. In the pouring rain and gusting winds, bonds were forged that would last a lifetime. Together, James declared as they gathered in the community hall afterward, "We are not just rebuilding structures, we are rebuilding our hope." During these challenging times, dialogues became the thread that wove the community back together. At a town meeting held in the aftermath of that calamitous storm, Emily spoke with quiet determination. "We all have scars," she said softly, her gaze steady on the faces before her, "but it is our willingness to stand together and support one another that makes us whole." Her words sparked a renewed commitment among the citizens of Willow Creek, solidifying her place not only as a survivor of her own past but as a beacon of collective resilience. Love, too, found its way quietly into Emily's life. It began with gentle exchanges at the local farmers' market, bittersweet smiles over baskets of ripe apples, whispered compliments amid the vibrant chatter of stall holders. It was during one such market morning that she encountered Daniel Roberts, a warm-hearted veterinarian who had recently moved to Willow Creek. With his infectious passion for caring for all living creatures and his gentle humor, Daniel effortlessly bridged the gap between Emily's recovered strength and the vulnerable place her heart still occasionally visited. Their first conversation was a blend of laughter and hesitant glances. "I feel as if I've known you for years," Daniel remarked as they strolled through the crowded market lane. Emily smiled, her heart fluttering with cautious hope. "Perhaps we're all connected by some invisible thread of kindness," she replied, recalling the countless times fate had gently nudged her toward unexpected friendships. Over the weeks, their bond deepened as they discovered shared passions: quiet afternoons spent tending to the community garden, long walks along the creek discussing dreams and regrets, and evenings laced with the simple joy of each other's company. With the encouragement of her steadfast friends, Emily began to open up in ways she never thought possible. In the presence of trusted confidants like James, Sarah, Michael, and Elizabeth, she allowed herself to dream again. She enrolled in art classes at the local community center, rediscovering a long-forgotten love for painting. Each brush stroke on her canvas became an act of self-expression, a vivid depiction of her journey through pain toward the light of newfound acceptance. Her art, much like her soul, was transformed by every kind word and every act of care extended her way. One balmy spring afternoon, as wildflowers burst forth in myriad colors along the town's winding lanes, Emily found herself at a crossroads. While strolling through a sun-dappled park, she reflected on the many lessons Willow Creek had taught her about love and resilience. The voices of her friends echoed in her memory, the measured wisdom of James, the effervescent laughter of Sarah, Michael's understated sincerity, and Elizabeth's timeless insights. In that quiet moment of introspection, she realized that the painful chapters of her past had not been erased but rather woven into the fabric of her identity, adding depth and dimension to her character. Determined to embrace the fullness of life, Emily decided to hold an art exhibition showcasing her journey of healing. The community rallied around her, booking the town's modest community hall to celebrate the beauty of transformation. The exhibition was set on a warm evening under strings of twinkling lights, where every painting told a story of moments stolen between hardships and triumphs, of the soft resilience of the human spirit that finds triumph in adversity. On the night of the exhibition, as soft music played in the background and guests moved between canvases, Daniel gently took Emily's hand. "I always knew there was a light in you," he whispered, his eyes filled with quiet admiration. "Tonight, it shines brighter than ever." Surrounded by friends, neighbors, and those who had been touched by her art, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The exhibition was not only a tribute to her own transformation but also a celebration of the community's unwavering support and their shared belief in second chances. In between the gentle hum of conversations and warm reassurances, Emily recalled a conversation with Elizabeth not long ago. "Dear one," the elderly woman had said as they sat in a sunlit corner of the town's old diner, "our lives are like fragile porcelain, beautiful yet delicate. But when we let in love and compassion, even shattered pieces can be mended into something stronger and more exquisite." Those words, echoing through the hall that night, reminded Emily that growth often comes from that which seems irreparable. As months turned into years, Willow Creek continued to be a place where time moved gently and every sunrise promised a day filled with small miracles. Through each season, Emily's relationships deepened. Her bond with Daniel grew into a tender, respectful love, one built on shared dreams and quiet moments of vulnerability. The community celebrated their union with a humble outdoor wedding beneath ancient oak trees, where the laughter and cheers of neighbors, friends, and loved ones wove together a tapestry of hope and new beginnings. Even amidst joy, life's twists and turns continued to test the mettle of every soul in Willow Creek. A sudden challenge arose when the town faced economic hardships, threatening the very fabric of the warm community spirit. In those trying times, the residents rallied together in an effort that transcended individual hardships. Fundraisers were held, local businesses collaborated, and every heart contributed in its own way to reaffirm the bonds that defined Willow Creek. Emily, whom everyone had come to see as a symbol of enduring hope, spearheaded an initiative to support struggling families. Working tirelessly alongside James, Sarah, Michael, and Elizabeth, she organized community outreach programs that not only provided material aid but also nourished the spirit of unity and shared resilience. In hushed conversations over cups of coffee and shared meals at community potlucks, the people of Willow Creek reaffirmed their belief that adversity could be overcome by the strength of togetherness. "We are not defined by our setbacks," Emily would say, her voice resolute and warm, "but by the love we nurture even in our darkest hours." It was in those moments, as neighbors comforted one another and shared hope for a better tomorrow, that the true essence of the town was revealed, a mosaic of lives interwoven by compassion, perseverance, and the quiet magic of redemption. As spring faded into the vibrant hues of summer, life in Willow Creek blossomed in unexpected directions. Emily continued her artistic journey, hosting workshops for local children and adults alike. The act of creating, of capturing life's fleeting emotions on canvas, became a communal celebration, a living testament to the power of empathy and the beauty of imperfection. In every stroke of her brush, she found not only a personal catharsis but also a way to connect with those around her, inspiring others to share their stories and embrace the challenges that transformed them. One sunny afternoon, as the town gathered to celebrate its annual summer fair, conversations flowed easily under banners of red, white, and blue. Among the laughter and joyful music, Emily sat quietly on a park bench with Daniel. The fairground buzzed with the energy of children chasing after bubbles and elders reminiscing about days gone by. I sometimes wonder, Daniel said thoughtfully, if every moment of pain in our past was simply a prelude to the happiness we now share. Emily, looking into his compassionate eyes, replied, perhaps it is in our scars that we find our true strength. Each mark on our hearts is a reminder that we are capable of endless transformation. In that idyllic moment, as the sunshine played upon their faces and the laughter of the fair mingled with the soft murmurs of heartfelt conversations, Emily felt an overwhelming gratitude for the intricate tapestry of her life. Every person she had met in Willow Creek had left an indelible mark on her soul, and every challenge had nourished her growth, shaping her into a woman who knew how to love fiercely and forgive graciously. Life continued in its gentle cadence. Years later, when the pages of time had turned to reveal more seasons of joy and sorrow, Emily often found herself reflecting on the serendipity of her arrival in Willow Creek. She recalled the hesitant steps of a heart that had once been burdened by past hurts, now dancing lightly to the tune of hope. The relationships she had built, each a unique mosaic piece, had redefined her understanding of love and friendship. James, ever the sage, continued to nurture the town's literary soul, often gifting Emily with a new book and a kind smile each time they met. Sarah's laughter and zest for life had become legendary, inspiring even the quietest souls to reclaim their joy. Michael remained a steadfast friend, a living reminder that simple acts of kindness could mend even the deepest wounds. And Elizabeth, whose life had become a library of wisdom, was always present, gently guiding any who needed direction with her comforting words. One memorable evening, during a community celebration held beneath a canopy of stars, Emily addressed the gathering with a clear and sincere voice. Every one of us is an integral thread in the fabric of Willow Creek, she said, her eyes scanning the crowd of familiar faces. We have endured storms, celebrated victories, and learned that love is the essence that binds us together. When we open our hearts, even the smallest gestures can usher in profound change. The crowd responded with a chorus of applause, and in that moment, Emily realized that personal growth was not only a solitary journey but a collective endeavor fueled by the warmth, care, and unity of community. The years in Willow Creek affirmed that sometimes the most profound epiphanies came not in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments of connection, a shared smile, a word of encouragement, a silent understanding between kindred spirits. Emily's transformation resonated far beyond the borders of the small town, it extended to anyone who believed in the promise of a new day. Her art, her voice, and her unwavering commitment to embracing life's impermanence inspired others to rewrite their own stories of loss into narratives of hope and strength. One brisk winter morning, as the first snowfall blanketed Willow Creek in a pristine layer of white, Emily found herself standing on the porch of her beloved bungalow, the past and present merging into a single moment of gratitude. The hardships, the heartaches, and the quiet triumphs had all led her to this point, a place where love, friendship, and growth intertwined to create a life of profound beauty and meaning. With a contented smile, she whispered a silent thank you to the town that had taught her that even shattered pieces of one's heart could be lovingly restored. In that peaceful winter silence, as the world around her slept under a blanket of snow, Emily reflected on the journey that had transformed her life. Every challenge had become a lesson, every tear a seed of hope that blossomed into joy with time. Willow Creek had not only become her home but her heart, a testament to the enduring power of kindness, forgiveness, and the transformative nature of genuine connection. And so, as the seasons turned and the sun rose and set with unwavering regularity above the quiet streets of Willow Creek, Emily Carter continued to live a life enriched by love and friendship. With Daniel by her side and her cherished companions ever present in her memories, she embraced each new day as both a gift and a promise that no matter what challenges arose, the light of hope would always shine through. The town, with its humble charm and resilient spirit, had taught her that true happiness lies not in the absence of pain but in the willingness to welcome every twist and turn with a kind heart and an indomitable will to grow. In the end, Emily's story was woven into the greater tapestry of Willow Creek, a story of redemption, love, and the beauty of imperfection. The friendships she forged and the lessons she learned became beacons for others searching for their own paths toward healing. As she walked along the familiar streets, passing the sunlit diner where Elizabeth still recited ancient tales, the bookshop where James continued to share his wisdom, and the workshop where Michael diligently repaired more than just broken objects, she knew that every step she took was part of an ever-unfolding narrative of life. Under the vast, starlit sky of another quiet night, Emily looked around at the faces of her neighbors gathered for a simple celebration of life. In each pair of eyes, she saw reflections of her own journey, a journey marked by setbacks and soaring triumphs, by quiet moments of introspection and exuberant bursts of joy. The bonds of community and the unconditional love of true friends had shown her that the heart, though fragile, was capable of immense strength. In that moment, as soft music mingled with heartfelt laughter, Emily silently vowed to honor every memory and every scar, knowing well that they all contributed to the masterpiece of her life. And even as the clock ticked away the moments of that cherished evening, the legacy of Willow Creek, its spirit of kindness, resilience, and unwavering hope continued to ripple outward, touching countless lives in ways both subtle and profound. For in every act of shared laughter, every gesture of care, and every word of encouragement, the essence of the town lived on, inspiring all who encountered it to believe that love, indeed, was the greatest gift of all. If you enjoyed the story, subscribe to my channel and check the description for ways to support my work.